Well, hello, and welcome to Field Home Farm Sessions, episode 174 on March the 2nd, 2025. I don't like to talk too much about politics in my podcast, but I might talk a little bit about politics just because it's all around us. My last broadcast before I'm a director, I guess I'm temporarily a director right now, but the last broadcast before that happens. Now I was trying to think, are they going to allow me to do this? I don't say anything controversial. If I say anything too bad, I guess they'll say don't say that or something. But I keep it pretty good, and I think. Yes, I still have to fix the computer. I was listening the other day to the big howl, but anyways, that's going to happen. I'm going to switch offices. Got to get that done. Computer desk, hockey and dance competition, and just talking to people and Big Roy. So I guess I'll get into talking about the election a little bit. So in Ontario, we got the PC party, which is Progressive Conservatives, back in. Doug Ford. He called an early election. I think we weren't supposed to have one until next June. He called an early election to get a stranglehold on his position so he'd have another 4 years in Parliament. So he says he could fight Trump down south and all his silliness. And anybody that has any inkling of a computer or iPhone, everything comes up. If you're remotely interested in the news, you'll see that Ukraine president came over and was talking to Trump and asking for more money and whatnot. Everybody has their opinion. It's my opinion podcast. I don't want to get into too much because it's just you could go either way on this. I mean, I know they gave a lot of money, and I think we've gave a lot of money for this 3 years in running. And what do? You just keep throwing money at it and throwing money at it. Is China, India, are all these other countries helping out to do it, or is it just they're taking our money? We need money too to have programs and whatnot too, and so do the states. You can't just keep giving away money, but at the same time, on the flip side, you have to protect your country, and if another country's coming in and doing a stranglehold, you have to be kind of the peacekeeper also. So that's all I'm going to say about that. You can have different opinions on all of that, but the guy down south is a bit of a wild card, and we'll see what happens. I can flip that onto tariffs in a minute, but so we had an election. I think they said there was 43% turnout or something that voted. Like, that's pretty pathetic when you think about it. Like, out of 100%, 43, less than half. I talked to one guy, he's over 40, and he says, I've never voted in my life. I'm like, I don't know why. My dad at the time, long time ago, I'm 51 now, so probably 30 years ago, maybe a little bit before that, he never like got crazy and never said anything bad. He just says, you have a right to vote in a Western country, and if you didn't get to vote, people would go crazy. So you get to vote. You get to have a say in what happens. Mind you, it's just one vote, but still, it's your vote. You get to have a say. And they always said, if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. Like, you can't say, oh, Ford's bad or liberals are bad or Trump's bad if you never vote. So get out there and vote, and then you can bitch and complain all you want or be happy all you want. So politicians do run what happens in the Western world and policies and tariffs and what comes into the country and what goes out of the country. So getting into that, so Trump is trying to put tariffs on our products and our goods going down there. Now, through I can defend our supply management because I am part of it. I've been part of a dairy, part of a chicken. So we do not allow much to come up here, and if it does, you have to put a major tariff on. Now, we do let some products come in, but it's try to promote domestic growth. Like, and I'll give you an example what happened. Emmett, you're on. Thank you for listening. I'll give you an example what happened in COVID. Now, there was food not going anywhere, and we had a supply of good Canadian goods, dairy and chickens and eggs in our country, and we didn't have to rely on any other country to make our food security. So food security is very important, and through the quota system, we have a stranglehold on our food security. Now, I'll just use chickens as an example. Down in the States, there is an avian influenza going around, and it's killing chicken barns, and they they have 20, 30 barns in one spot where I have two. They would probably have 30 in one spot. So you get avian influenza, they have to wipe out a 10-kilometer radius in where those chickens are. So you're wiping out 10-kilometer radius, you're wiping out hundreds of barns, millions of chickens. It's pretty crucial to their food supply. So if we didn't have this quota system and had to rely on them for our food coming up here, what do you think would happen? They're not going to supply us with food when we need it. They're going to supply themselves, and if they're short of themselves, they're not going to ship it up here. So food security is massive. And through the hatching, I'll give you another example. Through the hatching egg, and I'm not saying anything I'm not supposed to say. We allow through the hatching egg, Abihec, 21% of our chicks and eggs come up from other countries and mostly from the States, because they're our closest ally and partner. So most of the eggs come up from there. So right now, and which is crazy in a way, if they don't ship, they're allowed to ship 21%, a maximum of 21%. But if they don't ship the 21%, it doesn't matter. But it's kind of crazy that way. So our egg layers can't. They're not going to produce like they're not going to produce 80 or 90% and then lose that 20%. So they're only going to produce the 79% of what they can. So right now now there's no eggs coming up right now from the States. So we have to, our guys, we told them to produce more for us. So we need eggs. So there's an example right there of having food security and a quota system in place, because you don't rely on other places. So, and it's 60 years. I think it's 60 years for dairy too. Is it an M? I don't know. I forget. But it's definitely 60 years of the quota system supply management in Canada. And before the quota system, now most of those guys, that's why there's always this talk about getting rid of it and something, because it's not great, because there's not as many people around that remember the quota system. Before the quota system, I should say. I just remember my dad talking about it, and he said before there was a quota system, the processor could just say, we don't need your milk, or we don't need your chickens, just don't worry about it. And you'd have to get rid of your chickens or your milk or something. And if you produce, Emmett's got 40 cows, but if you produce 40 cows, what do you do with the milk? Like I guess you just have to dump it if they're not going to pick it up, or they give you whatever price they want. So they came up with a system with the government to have tariffs, so you can't bring in whatever you want whenever you want. Food security, you get a set price for your milk, set price for your chickens. It's a negotiated price that we negotiate with the processors, and then processors in turn sell to the retailers. I'm pretty sure that happens on the dairy side of it. I'm not as in tune with the dairy. You're a milk farmer, you milk the cows, you didn't go to committees like I didn't do when I was milking cows, didn't have the time. Now a chicken farmer, a little bit more time to do that stuff. So they set a price, negotiate a price that's fair, and it comes in with costs of all your costs, labor, propane, electricity, all your costs, buying chicks, doing feed, and then you come up with a fair price, negotiate that with the processors, and that's what you get paid for your chicken or your milk. And then in turn, the processor sells it to the retailer and other places, restaurants, which is a retailer also. So that's how we come up with it. So the quota system is a good system. It's an amazing system. People, and you have to fight for it, and all these other countries want it. They want to get in here. But if we didn't have a quota system, we're not going to pay, like, say you got rid of it for beef and pigs and stuff is high right now, but 5 years ago that price was hurting. And most beef farmers have other jobs. Most pig farmers have other jobs too, whereas dairy and chicken you don't have to have other jobs, because you can make a living and secure your life with that industry, whereas the other industries you have to have another job because you're not making as much money. So I'll get out of that. It's great. Quota system's awesome. I will be going to the meeting, our annual meeting, our AGM, in the next couple of days, and it should be outstanding. There's some speakers. They're going to be talking about that. They're going to be talking about the supply management system, how good it is, talking to some politicians, talking to processors, talking to feed guys. It's a big celebration. Even though it is still in Lear, you're thinking in the back of your mind this Trump thing and the trade thing and all this other stuff. So, and you think of the world and you think of everything else. So, but I don't have chickens in right now, so it's awesome. I don't have to worry about that part of my business. But it is fucking cold. I think it was minus 20. I looked at my weather, minus 20 this morning. Now, I don't know how the hell Canada goes up and down that much, because I think on Wednesday it's supposed to be plus 7. So, and the rink, the good thing is, the positive, the rink is hard as hell, like a cock, right, Emmett? We had this, we had what was our sayings? We did a bunch of sayings before. It's like, how my hockey rink relates to a man's appendage. How if it's hard, you can use it. Anyways, I'm not gonna go in there. Not gonna get into that. So stop talking about that. My dance, one of her showcase dance competitions was last night. She had 8 dances in all, and they do tap and ballet. I really enjoy the tap because it's the bang bang, the making the sound. It's a great. It seems like they're all into it. That what do they call that other dance? Ballet and oh god, there's configurative or something like that. They just walk. It seems like they walk around the stage. I know there's more to it than that, but in my opinion, it's not for me. I like watching my daughter have fun, but I don't like watching the other kids that much. Some of the other kids that I know, but I think I mentioned that last year. So that was last night. I don't know how many more they're going to have. I know my wife goes, they do some competitions, and that'll be a couple weekends. It might interfere with my chicken director job, but we'll see what happens. Big Roy and maybe my cousin David might be on the train. No mystery today, no Roscoe. They're taking Sunday off. It is a relaxing Sunday. My son has hockey playoff today, and that's at noon, so I got to get ready for that. My daughter has her first playoff game, a round of 4, which should be interesting to say the least. Dirty Mike's team won last night. That's awesome. Dirty Mike had a bit of controversy, but we're not going to go into that. But Dirty Mike, you're the best, and I hope to play with you in Barrie next year. We're going to try out for the AA team. It'd be awesome. If they win, that would be even better. If they win, they might attract way more talent, and then I don't know. It may be harder for my daughter. Have to really, really try hard, but we'll see. She's going to try her hardest. That's happening. The weather's happening. I got to get my suit. I was texting Chicken Man Scott, and I said, "What do we wear tonight?" Because we have a dinner tonight. It's Meet the Wives night, and just casual tonight. Tomorrow night's our big. It's kind of the big reception celebration. That's more of a dressy. You go from jeans to dressy, and then you go to suit and tie the next day of the meeting. So that should be. It's all going to be interesting. And then you can call me Director Brian after that. But Hubie Jen, she always makes comments. She said in a comment her daughter's friend goes to Georgian College or does the Georgian College course, which is awesome that you can do your course. You can do those courses anywhere you want. It's amazing. Technology can be amazing. And Emmett's listening online right now. That's why it's amazing. Oh crap! I got out of my phone, but it was good talking to you. I got to get ready. Got to take him to hockey, daughter hockey. I think we're going to staying over the night. It's going to be awesome. Hotel room, husband and wife in a hotel room. You know what's going to happen? Talking. Anyways, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in tomorrow night, Huey Jen. Let's have a drink.